Hi, this is Tim Clancy, National Coordinator Selection for Mind's Eye Society. Question number 10. What is your opinion of the NC engagement in game? Again, like, share, follow, and join the Facebook group for the restructuring discussion. All the links to the restructuring, all the proposals and plans, all that's in the comments below this video. So let's get to it. How engaged in the games do you feel it is appropriate for the NC to be? So I took this kind of as two parts. There's really two questions in there. And I think the more important question is, or I think what the implied important question is, especially given my proposal of restructuring, is how engaged should the NC be on NST activities, right? First of all, I think the parochial approach across the board of saying these are coordinator things and these are storyteller things has really harmed the club. Members experience the club as a whole. Remember my, left hand, right hand, heart and head analogy in breaking it down, the chronicle problem. I'll actually put a link to that in the comments. We may have one side that is responsible for overseeing the left side of the body and call that the storyteller side, but the whole body kind of goes along with that, right? If this arm gets injured, the whole body feels that. A disease that hits the whole body, we separate these silos out as if they're separate clubs. We're the coordinator side. Don't step in the coordinator side, or we're the storyteller side. But that's also kind of a legacy that I think is no longer relevant. It used to be most people would be only storytellers or only coordinators. Now, over time, we have people who have crossed back and forth, brought skill sets back and forth, and really been pretty diverse. So not only do members experience the club as a whole, but volunteers often have experiences in both. And I don't think people understand. I actually was in the storyteller side when I began this journey. I had been playing the character Goodman Goring, had a great time with that, built up 200-person plus organizations in game, had a lot of fun, Outlaw Masons, the whole thing with that. But at the same time, I was a venue storyteller for Boston and had a pretty kick-ass game. We'd done that kind of turnaround where you take it from 15 members showing up a month to about 45. We had a pretty kick-ass game. We had a good downtime. Our favorite game of the month, brought in 70 players. People flew in from around the country to do that. We had a good game going on the storyteller side, but it was from that experience, both as playing a character that got me out to see a lot of members and also being a venue storyteller, that I began to be exposed to the really toxic elements of this club and the broken stairs. And that's when I wrote that letter. I actually resigned my position. I didn't advertise it at the time. I did what you should do. I wrote a letter of concern to the board of directors. I didn't go out on social media and blare it. That letter is in the link below, by the way. But I realized that this could not be fixed wholly from the storyteller side. And it was kind of a false choice. I had to either run a quality game or help improve the club. I couldn't do both. And so I actually had to resign my position as venue storyteller, come over to the coordinator side, which is where I spent probably 2 years as ANC arbitration working on this and realizing, look, people who think it's only storyteller side have not really, I get it. Perspective's different, experiences differ. I recognize that it's valid, but go ask someone who's had a term or two behind them as a regional or national storyteller, even a domain storyteller, venue storyteller. Ask them what it's like from a behavior standpoint. A lot of my work is storytellers reaching out to me and say, hey, this guy just threatened me, or this gal's ripping me a new one on social media, or this person over here has made my life miserable because I'm trying to run a game here. Help me out. So it's not that we are isolated. The coordinators and storyteller, the chronicle play, all of this is integrated in a whole. So I want to be clear also, I'm not trying to tell the NST what to do. That's been one of the common concerns with the plan. I'm proposing referendums. As an NC, it is completely within the authority of the NC to propose a referendum. And that referendum, however, is decided by the membership. And if that referendum gives guidance to the officers in that organizational unit are bound by it. And this is why the first referendum is simply, do you want the national coordinator, the national storyteller, the national convention administrator to work together on one of several plans and solicit more plans about restructuring club? It's simply a sense of the club to say, do you want to even consider this? So it's not me telling the national storyteller or the NCA, it's the club saying, we as a membership feel this is important. And if that one's passed, then the second one, 6 months later or so, is looking at all the plans, the one presented by the national officers. But I hope there's alternate plans. And I really hope some of these alternate plans have creative ways of approaching restructuring without shutting the chronicle down. I don't necessarily see how it can do it myself, but I also recognize I'm not the sole authority on this, so I'm hoping to be surprised. But that second referendum is about really choosing as a club. Do we want to restructure? And if we do, what plan do we want to pick? So I think to this bigger question, we need to restructure the club, all parts of it. We can't reverse our stagnated growth with just one part of the club involved. This cannot be the storytellers trying to make the games great while the broken stairs run free. This cannot be the coordinators clearing out the broken stairs, perhaps, but then the games aren't good. This has to be, or we're not providing new styles of game. This has to be a joint discussion of the club. And the toxicity in broken stairs, they don't limit their impacts on one chain or the other. We have to respond as a whole, and I think we can respond as a whole. Now, I said there were two parts to this question. The much simpler part is, do you think you hear this a lot, should the NC have a character in games? My view on this, personal view, I don't want to beholden any other officers because I think it's a personal choice, but my view is no. As ANC arbitration, people have been circulating around, well, he hasn't played in 3 years. Well, the reason I haven't played is because I was ANC arbitration, and I felt it really important that someone on national staff was not playing the games, and therefore had the distance and sort of buffer not to get caught up in what's going on, or the ebbs and flows of the Chronicle, or have any potential COI type issues. And so no, I didn't play. But the reason I didn't play is because what I'd seen as a storyteller and the impacts of having on the player. So if appointed national coordinator, no, I will not be playing a character in games. I may do a one-shot or NPC, some sort of appearance type thing, but I don't think my focus is on fixing the club. And if that means I don't get to play for another couple of years, I'm okay with that. I'd much rather see the club in a healthy, viable, sustainable, safe place with this kind of great new offering 3 to 4 years from now, and then I'll play in it. It's okay for me. I've been around for a long time. I've had the benefit of a lot of spotlight characters. So, someone else can get the spotlight and shine. That's fine. And no, I will not be playing characters as NC. So, that's the answer to that. And again, make your voices heard. Like, share, follow, join the Facebook group. The discussion group is going on right now. We're over 75 members, so feel free to join in on that group on the discussion. And up next is question, I don't know what question it is. I think it's question number 11. Anyways, talk to you then. Bye.